Well, New Zealand continue to be on a roll. Although truth be told, I think we were expecting them to beat Netherlands. I think everyone except you, because you're in the orange. But
would have been a sheer coincidence had they won, and if I had been that
one lone fan
and that unintended lucky charm, let's say,
for the Oranje. But no lucky charms really for the Netherlands today. And I'm not saying they put up a bad showing, all things considered. We'll get to that in a bit. But New Zealand, after a giant-slaying performance against England, well, they continued their winning ways with a pretty good showing. Mind you, they were actually put into bat. So Netherlands had won the toss. New Zealand did well in the conditions, and they weren't that easy. I remember before the match, there was a lot of talk that this is a different strip, so it looked a lot more batter friendly. But the spinners did get plenty of joy, as Mitchell Santner.
So 2 games, Shane, that we've seen in Hyderabad now.
Yes,
and both have offered spin, I would say.
Exactly.
It's still, when I look back at the IPL, I think the turn that you're getting to see right now is just a hint more.
Yeah, it's a hint more. It's not a lot more.
Because I don't really remember, let's say, the likes of a Washington Sundar and who else.
I mean, they did have spinners. Mayank Markande was bowling for SRH. He was getting some turn.
Bowling so again, I just think in these 6 months, what's changed over there is you're getting to see a hint more turn.
Yeah,
just a hint.
It's not like a overnight change or anything of the sort. We knew Hyderabad would in fact be a spin-friendly track, and I think a lot of us were surprised when Pakistan had that one game in Hyderabad where it was an absolute road.
Yeah.
And all of us were thinking, like, what happened to Hyderabad pitches? Well, they're there. That just happened to be one of the strips on offer.
Yeah.
So New Zealand, by the way, good showing on them. You had 3 different half centurions across the innings. You had Will Young, good 70 from him. Devon Conway got a start.
By the way, Will Young, remember on his World Cup debut, got a golden duck.
Exactly.
On a nothing delivery, by the way.
On a nothing delivery.
Sam Curran, I think.
It was, yes.
So Will Young coming back strong with 70 of 80 balls.
Rachin Ravindra continuing his golden run, 150 in his first 2 ODI games. In the World Cup, that is.
In the World Cup.
Beautiful batting. Tom Latham, good captain's knock really from him. Daryl Mitchell, a bit unfortunate. That ball, by the way, I remember Van Meekeren absolutely rolled his fingers over it. Daryl Mitchell just played through the line and then was like, bad shot to be playing. Well, otherwise, I think once they got to 322, you knew this was the Dutch game to really... They were not winning it.
They were only going to be chasing it for all their innings. We knew that they would have been. Never would there be a time with 322 on the board that the Dutch in the chase would go ahead of the asking run rate or any of that sort. Nothing. Let's say unexpected happened in this match.
Yeah.
Nothing new, perhaps. Also, this was, I think, something that anyone could have called.
Yeah.
Even let's say the time that this fixture was announced, perhaps. You weren't really looking at an upset, and I remember it was somebody in the comments who had yesterday called today's match to
be an upset. I remember.
Be an upset,
but I remember who
again,
it was.
I think can't recall the name right now. I was always very sure, and again it just takes me back to the point I think that Rajdeep had made just about a couple of hours back, that teams with good spinners will continue to enjoy, and today it was Santner's day. 5 wickets for him.
5 wickets, and by the way, I think he should be the man of the match if you're picking, because 5 wickets as well as a knock of 36 runs in 17 balls.
Sums it up.
3 fours, 2 sixes, batting at a striker of 211. How is it? I think this guy has to be the most unluckiest IPL player right now, that he happens to play in the same franchise that has Ravindra Jadeja.
That's it. So he's competing with Theekshana as well, let's not forget.
Yeah, because of the foreign player slots.
Exactly.
Always is. Exactly. Which is unfortunate, because I think Santner right now is proving to be one of the best cricketers in world cricket right now when it comes to smarts.
Absolutely.
That guy has a next level brain, and he keeps it very simple.
Stump to stump, simple. Has a bit of variety as well.
He has a deadly arm ball, I will say.
Deadly arm ball. Today, asked the Dutch that arm ball really, he grabbed a couple of those batsmen right in front of the stumps. So, New Zealand, as Shane had earlier said, continue with their winning momentum, continue with this good run that they're enjoying right now. This was obviously going to be a game where they could have, let's say, tested their reserves or given them some game time. Wasn't to be the case. They played with a full strength team. The one change though that they made from the previous match was that Lockie Ferguson featured today. Remember, he missed out on the previous match because of a back niggle, was it?
Yeah, it was a back issue that he was having.
Yeah, some niggle that he faced. I think it was a back niggle. But Lockie Ferguson came today, again did crank it up on a few occasions, as one could see. And a clinical, complete. Just keep adding adjectives over there. Because I don't think there's any box that New Zealand would have wanted to tick and didn't end up ticking.
Absolutely. I think the way they went about with things, and okay, I'll give some credit to the Dutch batters. I think they batted a lot longer than most of us expected them to.
Ackerman, I think.
Ackerman
was there for quite some time. I think Scott Edwards, the captain, also hit a couple of
lower Netherlands innings.
Hit a couple of boundaries and was maybe a 6 as well, if I'm not wrong. Scott Edwards did hit that 1 6 and 2 boundaries. So 30 for him of 27. Remember, Scott Edwards, the captain, didn't really do much in the first match that Netherlands had played. That was against Pakistan. Otherwise, if you look at the scorecard for the Dutch as far as their batting is concerned, just the one standard batter who managed to cross the 50-run mark, and that was Colin Ackerman with 69 of 73. He hit 5 boundaries and he looked good. He looked in control. I don't think he was he gave any half chances for that matter. But again, with everything that Netherlands have to offer, we knew that they were competing against a heavyweight or a juggernaut.
Absolutely. I mean, you see, we've always said that New Zealand are one side who raise their games when it comes to ICC tournaments. You don't quite know what happens to them.
Especially of late.
Yeah, if you look at it from 15 onwards, really, 15 finals. Then I think 16 they got eliminated in the semis.
15 finals, bit of a rout though in the final. But 15 finals.
16 and semis, 19 semis. No, in fact, 19 finals, what did we say?
19 finals and then
2021 was the semis.
The World Test Championship they won.
Won the World Test Championship.
You know, it's funny in a way that they haven't won the World Cup yet. But they say the Test cricket is the hardest format.
The pinnacle.
And they managed to win the World Test Championship trophy, which was
the first attempt, mind you.
Which was the first attempt and the first edition of it. The inaugural edition was won. Let's not go back and
let's not remember that.
Let's not revisit that thought for too long.
Now, decent showing also from interestingly Sybran Engelbrecht, who had the unique distinction, let's say, of being the only uncapped player named in any of the World Cup squads at 35 years old.
I see.
He used
35.
Exactly. He used to play, I think he's played under 19 age level cricket for South Africa.
Okay.
But I think he had last played competitive cricket in South Africa in like 2016-17 type.
So again, one of those who was with South Africa or one of the African nations. And
I mean, Van der Merwe.
Yes, of course. Van der Merwe, the one who actually landed that ultimate punch. Let's not forget when in that
when they knocked out the Proteas.
When they knocked out the Proteas last year, he took the catch, right?
A blinder of a
catch. This is. It's going to be a tough World Cup for teams like the Netherlands, even Afghanistan. I think are going to struggle. They have the potential to pull off an upset. Maybe just
batting worries me.
But the problem is, and that's what people need to understand, and that's also, I'll speak of the Indian aspect of it as well, that you can cause upsets more often in the shortest format because, again, many of these sides have players which are so used to playing franchise cricket that they've honed that particular skill set. But bowling in 4 overs and 10 is two very different things. Ask the Indian players that.
Ask even for that matter 2 guys who I think are absolute superstars in T20 eyes. One is Shadab Khan. The other is Rashid Khan.
Yeah.
Both really struggle in ODIs. Rashid especially in recent times.
Again, because the batters also, by the way, aren't always looking to attack you, which is one of the benefits that you have when you're playing the shortest format.
Exactly.
You're always, as a bowler, up for taking wickets because the batter has just one thing in mind, that's
attack.
Slog. So that just increases your percentage, let's say, or your probability of getting a wicket, as against, let's say, in ODI cricket, where, let's say, the best batter in the ODI format at the moment, Virat Kohli, and as has been the case for almost
a while,
for exactly more than half a decade now. He says, and he's in fact spoken about how he really it's his game rather, to just rotate the strike, bide his time, and then unleash the attack right towards the end. Not everyone
pacing matters,
and not everyone knows the art of doing that.
Of picking your moment, knowing what is the time that the bowling team looks like they're on top now, let me take my time, let me see out this period, then grind them down and then go for the kill.
And that's where probably, and maybe, Netherlands, what they did to South Africa last year would have definitely given them a big morale booster, which is why they carried that forward into, let's say, the qualifiers as well.
They did really well against West Indies.
West Indies, exactly. That match, of course, will be remembered by many for that super over.
5 sixes.
Logan Van Beek, his wonderful performance there. He, I think, was missing today, right?
Yeah, he was one of the 2 people kept out. It was a bit surprising. I thought they would have maybe pushed him up the order.
Yeah.
But they made a couple of changes. They brought in Ryan Clean was one and Cybrand Engelbrecht was the other. Made 2 changes to their lineup.
Yeah.
So, but otherwise, I will say this, by the way, if you have to pick any of the so-called teams or the minnow teams you would expect not to be competing for the top 4, Bangladesh, Netherlands, I think given the right conditions, I think this Netherlands team can get at least a couple of wins.
I think, in fact, because let's say with the match between Sri Lanka and Netherlands for that
very,
matter
very interesting.
Could be a very interesting match. If it's the right surface, or even Bangladesh for that matter, I feel.
Or even Afghanistan. Afghanistan's batting concerns me. It really does concern me beyond Ibrahim Zadran and Rahmanullah Gurbaz. Really, no one has been consistent for them. Yeah. Nabi can be hit or miss. Gulbuddin Naib can also be hit or miss.
Yeah.
It's just too many problems. And beyond that, their middle order just doesn't convince me.
Yeah.
So again, and by the way, with Afghanistan, the one thing we've realized with them, they need spinning tracks to succeed.
That they do.
Because they have, their strength is their spinners. So if Netherlands get a decent track against them, I wouldn't bet against them right now. Would not bet against them getting a couple of good results.
If it's a track that doesn't assist spin bowling much, just taking Shane's point forward, you're actually looking at a very, very close finish to that match.
Correct. And a close finish could potentially end with the Netherlands winning.
I would actually want Netherlands, to cause an upset or maybe win a game or 2 here and there. It shouldn't, let's say, be just a tournament that they would want to forget.
Exactly.
I hope it's not the case, because this is a team that's had its moment in the past World Cups also, or in the qualifiers for that matter. And we need more teams. Let's be honest, we need more teams. We need more competition. We need the competition to be hotting up. We don't just want there to be 3-4 juggernauts, let's say.
And considering the fact that now cricket could very well be becoming an Olympic sport.
Olympics as well. And Shane says that because there's reports now coming in. In fact, we have that video up on Sports.
Check it out later on.
Check it out. You are looking at having cricket be part of the Olympics as well. Reports at the moment suggesting in 2028 it could be the scenario. It's not happening next year.
Obviously not.
It's not going to be making its debut next year. But good on cricket, let's say, and hopefully does good to the popularity of the game, because for the first time you saw the Indian team, let's say, participate this time around as well at the Asian Games. So hopefully going forward, yes, cricket does gain popularity, and teams like Netherlands that have been in the circuit for quite some time, which is why I really pray that someday that I end up wearing the orange. I do end up being that lucky charm for them. They do go back home. There's something positive to reflect upon as well, because heavy defeats like these can often be a morale booster. And with young kids watching you back home, you don't want your team to be steamrolled in big competitions.
Exactly.
You need that watershed moment, let's say.
Exactly.
So hopefully Netherlands will cause upsets. They've been very promising. They may have gone down today and by a comfortable margin. But even then, I think they give a sense of assurance. And correct me if I'm wrong in terms of interpreting that.
No, because you look at it again, this is a lost cause. They could have gone hell for leather and said, you know what, we know we're not going to lose anyway, let's play a few flashy innings. But no one was particularly flashy. They looked to play their good old-fashioned traditional style ODI cricket, which was good. I mean, it will win you certain games considering you're playing in India, where you're going to get mixed results or mixed pitches, let's say. We've already ascertained that early on, not every pitch is going to be a belter. You're not going to get pitches where every single time you're scoring 350 plus. You're getting some tracks where you need to play attritional cricket. You need to be patient, bide your time. Again, they've batted like 40 something overs today. It's very, very good. It's a good sign really that they know they've learned from the mistakes which they made against Pakistan, where they went for the big shots and just kind of ended up undoing themselves. But here they batted through. Yes, they got all out, but that also has as much to do with the fact that Mitchell Santner was bowling with another planet. He's bowling very, very well. Let's take nothing away from that. Santner was bowling well, got some key wickets. He got rid of Edwards, got rid of Colin Ackerman. That's arguably the best batsman they have. And of course, Baz Delete also got rid by another left-arm spinner in Rachin Ravindra. So definitely, not one of those matches where you'd look at it and say, yes, the margin doesn't look good. Of course, losing by 99 runs is never ideal. But look a little deeper, and this Netherlands side do have what it takes to potentially upset a couple of teams here or there. At least that's how I feel about things.
And would that team be South Africa? Well, we'll have to wait and see, because the next match, by the way, the next match is against the Proteas. And where is it? Let's tell you that. It is in Dharamsala. So, Netherlands done with 2 matches. Of course, heavy defeats in some way, but if you look at it differently, positives as well for the Netherlands. They lost the first match against Pakistan by 81 runs. Today, the victory margin being a little more thicker, let's say 99 runs today. The next match, South Africa, I'm pretty sure there is going to be some baggage, there's going to be something, let's say, that would have carried forward from that last year's heavy defeat or a heavy blow that the South Africans faced. Maybe it just urges them up, or just, it just pushes them on to steamroll the Netherlands. Maybe that's the case. It's that's what they say, that when your pride's hurt, that's when you bounce back doubly harder.
Yeah.
So
okay, we can take a few comments. Quite a few rolling in. I think a lot of people were really excited by the quality of this match. Go up slightly, if possible. We'll start from the top because there's, I think, enough there. Akshat Kharekar asking an interesting question: who would Kane replace? That's a good one. That is a good one. I think
given the form that Rachin Ravindra is in, and even though he's been a late entrant into the side, I don't think he is making way for Kane right now.
Maybe a Chapman.
Chapman, yes.
Maybe a Chapman.
Maybe a Chapman, because again, maybe you can slot Rachin
lower down the order.
Maybe not play him at 3.
Yeah, because see, someone like Glenn Phillips also gives you a useful bowling option. You're not dropping him, and more importantly, Phillips is a power hitter.
He got you big wickets last time around when he played against Pakistan.
Exactly. So I don't think you're dropping him. I think Chapman will be the one who unfortunately drops out.
Will have to miss out.
Yeah.
My guess too would be Chapman. Perhaps I would have gone with Will Young. But
he's gotten a 70.
He got you runs today, and there was a rare, let's say, golden duck for him the other day.
Unfortunate.
They've been backing him, so I think they wouldn't want to make
that change
right up top.
Shreyans Putipati asked an interesting question. His thought on a stumping. In case you had missed it, there was a stumping effort from the skipper Latham. It was given a no ball because he ended up collecting it before
ahead of the stumps.
Yeah, so it was a fair call. It was very close.
Very, very clear.
Yeah, it was very close. But if you look on replay, he had collected it before and actually could have waited because the batsman had charged down the ground and was nowhere. He could have collected it comfortably and taken it, but it seems harsh. But see, the rule was the rule in this case.
The rule was the rule, and yes, again, you expect these elementary mistakes to not happen at the highest standards.
No, absolutely not.
But again, they're human, they will err at times.
Exactly. And it didn't really cost them, so I don't think
Exactly.
Freaking Awesome says, wondering how the Kiwi matches will be like against the likes of Bangladesh and Afghanistan and Chennai. That, he's right. That I think will be a bit of a challenge, but for one, they do have good players of spin in their batting lineup, and they have a certain Ish Sodhi in their bench.
Ish Sodhi, who they're not playing right now.
He's on their bench, guys. He's on their bench. They very well could just drop a pacer.
By the way, they are one of those few teams at the moment, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of philosophy or what kind of game plan that New Zealand come with every time they come out on the field, because I'm not too sure if many teams will continue to be fielding 3 speedsters in their 11. India are definitely one of those teams that won't always be featuring 3 speedsters, and they have 3 out and out speedsters by the way.
Correct.
Out and out speedsters that they're playing with.
And they have a WWE and Nisham in the bench.
Nisham, exactly.
So they do have options. We say that a lot about the Indian team in terms of rotational options. New Zealand right up there. You can have an Ish Sodhi on the bench. So that is there. Let's see. Muthu Rangam says that New Zealand actually played really well today because this was more of a 280 pitch, and he's right. Early on, New Zealand weren't really getting early in the power play, they weren't really attacking. But once you settled in, and I think later on that push that they had, of course, batting depth they have is great too. Very good all round showing by them. Go down. Take a couple more comments, I think. Sachin Kashyap makes an interesting point, one you would get as well, saying that New Zealand remind you of Croatia in the FIFA World Cup. They play like a unit and give tough times to the big teams and potentially reach finals. Yes, really.
Very
It's a
true.
good comparison. Very good
Very
comparison.
true. Very, very true.
Let's see. King D is asking why don't Australia play Nathan Lyon in ODIs if Ashwin can play, he can do. Agreed, but I don't think he's played ODIs for a long time.
Who, Ash?
No.
What's he saying? Sorry,
Gary.
Gary again. Think Gary again. He's not been around for quite some time now. Yes, he's put out an expression of interest.
Saying I'm ready, but I think that will be a bit of a problem.
And another Aussie player will have to be injured, I think.
Yeah, at this point, yes, because he's not even in the reserves.
Exactly.
So if you're going by that logic, the first option would actually be Tanvir Sangha, who's just sitting in the travelling reserves unit.
Yeah.
Go all the way down. I think we're done, but no harm checking.
Yeah.
Muthurangam makes a good point, saying the Netherlands do look a little more solid than Afghanistan at this point.
Look much more mature also, I would say.
Absolutely.
I think at the moment Afghanistan give me a feeling that they're way too absorbed with T20 cricket.
Yeah,
right now.
they're a very
aren't
good
able to
T20
make
side.
that switch.
Correct, but ODIs requires that mental
Netherlands
switch.
showing much more promise.
They're basically the sky of international cricket.
Taking time.
Taking your time. Alston Menezes says that I feel New Zealand has a more balanced side, even more so than India. I don't know if it's even more so, but definitely right up there. Because they have options on the bench also.
New Zealand looking flawless at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
If India have winning momentum, so do
Somewhere
New Zealand.
Siddharth's a very happy chappy.
Very sure.
And last question, but Frickum Awesome says, what do you think of Pakistan-Sri Lanka game at Hyderabad? I think it'll be interesting.
Very interesting.
Because again, I do think that Hyderabad, the way it's being played right now, Sri Lanka spinners would fancy their chances.
Exactly. Given the kind of success, by the way, that they enjoyed in the recently concluded Asia Cup. They did beat Pakistan, let's not forget.
Exactly that.
So yeah, that will also be on the minds.
And don't forget, Sri Lanka, by the way, have that big this thing to settle with Pakistan, right? The scoreline.
Scoreline 5-0?
It's 7-0.
7-0.
So if you think India Pakistan is one-sided, Pakistan have their own thing going with Sri Lanka.
Thing going on in a parallel world of theirs.
You know what reminds me of? IPL reference here, but it's like how KKR have the wood over RCB all the time, and MI have the wood over KKR. It's the same thing. So anyway, that is our analysis of this match. Thank you guys. We're really glad you could join us, and we hope you enjoyed the match as well as our coverage.
It's great that so many of you are joining us, sending in your comments as well for a match which many said
no one would really be watching.
So yes,
I actually found it fun.
Yeah, Shane's been actually watching much more of this match than any of us around in the team, and good in you guys as well. Yeah, so just stick along, tap that bell, subscribe if you haven't already. The little bit of number crunching that we end up doing, we do get to know that not all of you subscribe. So do subscribe.
Please go ahead.
Please do that. And follow us on Instagram, Twitter as well. We're there as well. We put out content for you, some of which doesn't always make it to YouTube. So yeah, check us out on the other platforms as well. The action continues as far as the World Cup goes and even beyond in other sports as well. Shane Dias, my dear colleague. My name is Harshit Ahuja. We'll join you very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.